The Senate will come to order. Mr. Schaffler, please call the roll.
Senators Amabile, Baisley, Ball, Benavidez, Bridges, Bright, Carson, Catlin, Cutter,
Excuse.
Danielson, Doherty, Exum, Frizzell, Gonzalez,
Perfect.
Gonzalez,
Excuse.
Hendrickson, Judah, Kip, Kirkmeyer, Colker, Lindstedt,
Excuse.
Liston, Marchman,
Excuse.
Mullica, Pelton B, Pelton R, Rich, Roberts, Rodriguez, Simpson, Snyder, Sullivan, Wallace, Weissman, Zamora Wilson, Cutter, Mr. President.
Let's do this. The morning roll call is 32 present, 0 absent, 3 excused. We have a quorum. Senator Wallace, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Members, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the journal. Senator Carson.
Thank you, Mr. President. All right, folks, this is a big journal from yesterday with all we did, so let's approve it. I move that the Senate Journal of Wednesday, April 15th, 2026 be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. But the ayes still have it, and that motion is adopted. Mr. Schaffler, please add Senators Lindstedt to the roll, Marchman to the roll, and Gonzalez to the roll. Senate Services.
Correctly printed, Senate Bill 161, 162, and 163. Correctly revised, House Bill 1348, 1349, 1350, 1351, 1352, 1353, 1354, 1355, 1356, 1357, 1358, 1359, 1360, 1361, 1362, 1363, 1364, 1366, 1367, 1368, 1369, 1370, 1371, 1372, 1373, 1374, 1375, 1376, 1377, 1378, 1379, 1380, 1381, 1382, 1383, 1384, 1385, 1386, 1387, 1388, 1389, 1390, 1391, 1392, 1393, 1394, 1395, 1396, 1397, 1398, 1399, 1400, 1401, 1402, 1403, 1404, 1405, 1406, 1407, 1408, 1409, 1410, 1411, 1412, 1413, House Joint Resolution 1027.
Very good, Mr. Schaffler. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate proceed out of order for moments of personal privilege.
The motion is to proceed out of order for moments of personal privilege. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. What? The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. Senator Catlin.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. I ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you. Members, I wanted to bring your attention to a group of special people that are sitting over here on this wall. They've come here from Montrose, Colorado, where my home. That community has, for the last 25 or 30 years, put together a leadership class every year with different folks so that they learn about what's going on in Montrose County, the Western Slope. And what we're trying to do is to build our bench so that when some of us are done, there'll be somebody there to take our place. They've done an amazing job. There are a bunch of special people, and I'd like them to stand up, please. Please help me welcome Montrose University to the State Senate. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
Welcome to the Senate. Seeing no further moments of personal privilege, third reading of bills. Consent calendar. Mr. Schaffler, please read the titles of all the bills on the consent calendar.
House Bill 1348 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning the use of money from the Broadband Infrastructure Cash Fund. House Bill 1349 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning modifications to prevention services programs within the Department of Early Childhood and in connection therewith making and reducing appropriation. House Bill 1350 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning appropriations related to school food programs and in connection therewith making and reducing an appropriation. House Bill 1352 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning reducing the frequency of Colorado reading to ensure Academic Development Act, independent evaluations, and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation. House Bill 1354 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning repealing a science teacher professional development program and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation. House Bill 1355 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Amabile concerning the appropriation from the out-of-school time program grant program in connection therewith reducing an appropriation. House Bill 1356 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning the repeal of the local accountability system. House Bill 1358 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning reducing an appropriation for the Colorado Academic Accelerator Grant Program. House Bill 1361 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the repeal of the Pay for Success Contracts Program. House Bill 1362 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the repeal of the Decarbonization Tax Credits Administration Cash Fund. House Bill 1364 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the calculation of the Consumer Price Index for the 2025 calendar year and in connection therewith making an appropriation. House Bill 1366 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning enhancing state-directed payments for physician services rendered by medical professionals at Denver Health and Hospital Authority and in connection therewith making an appropriation. House Bill 1367 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning federal money payable as reimbursement of a public expenditure when the federal money exceeds 50% of the expenditure amount. House Bill 1368 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning eliminating a transfer from the Limited Gaming Fund to the Innovative Higher Education Research Fund. House Bill 1369 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning the repeal of a requirement to contract for use an online platform by higher education institutions for public benefits. House Bill 1370 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the transfer of money from the Limited Gaming Fund to the other cash funds. House Bill 1371 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning adding repeal dates for certain higher education programs with limited purpose fee for service contracts. House Bill 1372 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning requirements for spending appropriations for the Auraria Higher Education Center. House Bill 1375 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning repealing the County Administration of Assistance Programs funding model and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation. House Bill 1376 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning updating permissible uses of money in the excess federal Title IV reimbursements cash fund. House Bill 1377 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning clarification regarding treatment of funds that are transferred from the Department of Healthcare Policy and Financing to the Colorado Department of Human Services that pass through a regional accountability entity. House Bill 1379 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning a correction to the citation for bond forfeiture money deposited in the Judicial Stabilization Cash Fund. House Bill 1381 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning eliminating the requirement that the Commission on Judicial Discipline Special Cash Fund begin each state fiscal year with a balance of at least $400,000. House Bill 1382 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning the support of Coloradans with disabilities and in connection therewith creating the Colorado Disability Funding Authority and making and reducing appropriations. House Bill 1383 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning repealing the Employment Support and Job Retention Services Program and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation. House Bill 1384 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the classification of School to Work Alliance Program cost payments to the Department of Labor and Employment from the Department of Education. House Bill 1386 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning change in the funding mechanism for the Colorado National Guard tuition waiver program. House Bill 1387 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the expenditure of money from the Severance Tax Trust Fund and in connection therewith allowing the State Treasurer to transfer money from the Severance Tax Perpetual Base Fund to the Species Conservation Trust Fund, establishing an annual transfer from the Severance Tax Operational Fund to the General Fund and reducing an appropriation. House Bill 1388 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning the repeal of the Bond Assistance Program administered by the Department of Personnel and in connection therewith transferring the balance of the Bond Assistance Program cash fund to the General Fund. House Bill 1389 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning eliminating the annual appropriation requirement for the Comprehensive Human Sexuality Education Grant Program and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation. House Bill 1390 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning the evaluation agent for the Health Disparities and Community Grant Program. House Bill 1391 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning clean drinking water in places where children are present and in connection therewith extending the School and Child Care Clean Drinking Water Fund through the 2028-29 state fiscal year, adding high schools to the scope of potential recipients of grants from the School and Child Care Clean Drinking Water Fund, prohibiting the Department of Public Health and Environment from issuing a license to a child care center unless the child care center is in compliance with laws concerning testing and drinking water and making appropriations. House Bill 1392 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the transfer of money from the Public Safety Communications Revolving Fund to the Public Safety Communications Trust Fund to support the digital trunked radio system. House Bill 1394 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the conversion of the Motorcycle Operator Safety Trading Fund to a cash fund subject to annual appropriation by the General Assembly and in connection therewith making an appropriation. House Bill 1393 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning subjecting specified cash funds to a 3-year maximum reserve limitation instead of the annual maximum reserve limitation and in connection therewith subjecting the Public School Construction and Inspection Cash Fund and the Health Facility Construction and Inspection Cash Fund to a 3-year limitation. House Bill 1395 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning the repeal of the Wildfire Resilient Homes Grant Program administered by the Department of Public Safety and in connection therewith transferring the balance of the Wildfire Resilient Homes Grant Program cash fund to the General Fund. House Bill 1396 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning modifications to the Disaster Emergency Fund. House Bill 1398 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning the allocation of retail delivery fee revenue credited to the Multimodal Transportation and Mitigation Options Fund. House Bill 1400 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning adjustments to the Public Employees Retirements Association allocation of money to trust funds. House Bill 1402 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning the transfer of money to the Capital Construction Fund. House Bill 1403 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the prevention of the transfer of unexpended information technology annual depreciation lease equivalent payments to the General Fund. House Bill 1406 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning the repeal of certain provisions regarding the funding of capital construction and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation. House Bill 1407 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning state money that was used to refinance money received from the Federal Coronavirus State Fiscal Recovery Fund and in connection therewith transferring unspent money, state money to the General Fund, extending a deadline for the use of state money and reducing an appropriation. House Bill 1408 by Representative Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning the establishment of processes for the determination of budget requests for the upcoming state fiscal year.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of all the bills on third reading of bills, final passes consent calendar, which are House Bills 1348, 1349, 1350, 1352, 1354, 1355, 1356, 1358, 1361, 1362, 1364, 1366, 1367, 1368, 1369, 1370, 1371, 1372, 1375, 1376, 1377, 1379, 1381, 1382, 1383, 1384, 1386, 1387, 1388, 1389, 1390, 1391, 1392, 1393, 1394, 1395, 1396, 1398, 1400, 1402, 1403, 1406, 1407, and 1408.
Very good. Mr. Majority Leader and Mr. Schaffler. Any discussion on any of the bills? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of all the bills on third reading of bills consent calendar. Might there be any aye votes, no votes? Senator Peltonar.
Yeah, I've got some of both, but I'll just give you the no votes. Mr. President, I request to be a no vote on House Bill 1364, 1375, 1396, 1398. Thank you.
Senator Pelton R. recorded as a no vote on House Bills 1364, 1375, 1346, and 1396 and 1398. Senator Zamora Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to be a no vote on 1348, 1349, 1350, 1364, 1366, 1367, 1377, 1382, 1384, 1387, 1391, 1393, 1394, 1396, 1398, 1403, 1407. Thank you.
Senator Zamora Wilson recorded as a no vote on 1348, 1349, 1350, 1364, 1366, 1367, 1377, 1382, 1384, 1387, 1391, 1393, 1394, 1396, 1398, and 1403 and 1407. Very good. Senator Rich.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to be recorded as a no vote on House Bill 1355, 1364, 1384, and 1387.
Senator Rich recorded as a no vote on House Bills 1355, 1364, 1384, and 1387. Senator Baisley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to please be recorded as a no vote on House Bills 1348, 1349, 1350, 1364, 1366, 1367, 1377, 1382, 1384, 1387, 1391, 1393, 1394, 1396, 1398, 1403, and 1407.
Senator Baisley be recorded as a no vote on House Bills 1348, 1349, 1350, 1364, 1366, 1367, 1377, 1382, 1384, 1387, 1391, 1393, 1394, 1396, 1398, and 1403 and 1407.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Very good. Senator Liston.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, with all these numbers going around, and would it be possible if Mr. Scheffler would please reread the consent calendar?
Yes, only in the House. Please, Senator Liston.
Okay, all right, I'll let it slide this time, Mr. President. All right, thank you. With that in mind, Mr. President, I wish to be recorded as a no vote on House Bill 1348, House Bill 1354, House Bill 1364, House Bill 1371, House Bill 1384, House Bill 1387, and House Bill 1396.
Senator Liston will be recorded as a no vote on House Bills 1348, 1354, 1364, 1371, 1384, 1387, and 1396. Senator Carson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask to be recorded as a no vote on House Bill 1364 and House Bill 1396.
Senator Carson will be recorded as a no vote on House Bills 1364 and 1396. Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask to be recorded as a no vote on House Bill 1387.
Senator Roberts recorded as a no vote on House Bill 1387. Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request to please be recorded as a no vote on House Bill 1394.
Senator Henriksen will be recorded as a no vote on House Bill 1394. Further no votes. Seeing none, with a vote of 32 ayes, 3 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1348 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of, no, not on these. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1349 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1350 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1352 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Colker, Marchman. With a vote of 34 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1354 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 34 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1355 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1356 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1358 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1361 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1362 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 29 ayes, 6 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1364 is passed. Co-sponsors. Any additional no votes? I'm just joking. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1366 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Weissman. With, please add Senator Ball is a co-sponsor as well on 66. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1367 is passed. Co-sponsors. Thank you, sir. Senators Wallace. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1368 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1369 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Colker. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1370 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 34 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1371 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1372 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 34 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1375 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1376 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1377 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1379 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1381 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1382 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senator Wallace. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused. Oh.
Sorry, I had to go back and put one.
You got it. You ready? Let me know when you're ready. Good? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1383 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 31 ayes, 4 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1384 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1386 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 30 ayes, 5 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1387 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1388 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1389 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1390 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1391 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Colker, Henriksen, Wallace, Kipp, Weissman, Exum, Danielson, Marchman, Cutter, Gonzalez, Judah, Benavidez. I'm feeling generous. Please add the president. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1392 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1393 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 32 ayes, 3 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1394 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1395 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 30 ayes, 5 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1396 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 32 ayes, 3 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1398 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Henriksen. With, please add Senator Wallace also as a co-sponsor on 1398. And Senator Cutter. And Senator Kipp. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1400 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Colker, Henriksen. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1402 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senator Henriksen. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1403 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1406 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1407 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1408 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Weissman. Third reading of bills. Final passage. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of Senate Bill 90. We're just waiting on the machine to catch up. Let's all take a brief moment of enjoyment of peace and relaxation.
Senate Bill 90 by Senators Carson and Snyder and Representative Hartsook concerning exempting critical infrastructure from the Consumer Repair Bill of Rights Act.
Senator Carson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 90.
Would you like an aye vote?
And request an aye vote.
And I see another hand up, Senator Snyder.
Thank you, Mr. President. I humbly request permission to offer a third reading amendment.
Please tell us why you need a third reading amendment, and later, if you'd like, you can explain the amendment. Or you can do both at the same time.
Thank you. Yes, so folks, we've been working on this for several weeks after we got out of the Business, Labor, and Technology Committee on a unanimous vote. We intentionally decided not to ask for the consent calendar because we knew there was more work to be done. So we've been working with the opponents of the bill, the governor's office, the attorney general's office, trying to come up with a way that preserves our successes and right to repair, but also recognizes there are legitimate exceptions that need to be recognized. So through all of that stakeholding process, frankly, the governor's office and the attorney general were happy with the originally introduced bill, which basically just exempts critical infrastructure using the federal definition. Personally, I was not so comfortable with that. It's a very broad, ill-defined exception. And I think some of the concerns of the opponents were legitimate. So through this long stakeholding process, we do have the amendment L006, and really it is much better. It defines what the critical infrastructure is. Most importantly, the real ultimate question here is who gets to decide what is critical infrastructure and what is not. So a lot of the opponents were very uncomfortable letting the manufacturers make that decision. At the same time, the manufacturers and the owners of a lot of this critical infrastructure, for lack of a better word, components, are uncomfortable with having it wide open, as Colorado has. Colorado, I think we all recognize, has the most progressive, forward-thinking right to repair law in the country, and I appreciate that. You look at the other states, New York, again, commercial industrial equipment and a business-to-business exclusion. California has an industrial and commercial equipment scope exclusion. Oregon, scope limitation to consumer and retail products only. It applies only to consumer electronic equipment. So I think what we've recognized in the 2 years since the bill that enshrined right to repair is that we do need to have some flexibility in some way for people to determine what qualifies as critical infrastructure. So L006 adds the language in, says the Attorney General may adopt rules to review the exceptions, and it even gives criteria that asks the Attorney General to consider when making those determinations. Whether the information technology equipment is intended to be used in a manner that would qualify the equipment as critical infrastructure, whether it is a business-to-business or business-to-government contract not customarily sold in a retail setting. It has a presumption that the equipment is exempt, but that can certainly be overcome, and it does preserve the right to appeal to the district court. So, this, recognize, please, we will still have the most progressive and supportive right to repair law in the country, but every other state that has right to repair has some form of critical infrastructure exception. Nobody, to my knowledge, has the Attorney General language here. I think they should be the final arbiter of these decisions. The Attorney General's office already has this ability under the Consumer Protection Act. And so we worked hard with them to get a language that they didn't want two different standards, one for this area, one for all the rest of consumer protection. So we worked with them to find language that was acceptable to them, but did not upset the apple cart to that degree. So I really think this has made it a better bill, and thank you.
The motion is Senator Snyder's request to offer a third reading amendment. All those
I'm fine with that.
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. To the amendment, Senator Carson.
Just a couple of
Would you
additional
like to
comments.
share? Would you all like to share the amendment so we can look at it while you're explaining it? And I'll call back on you, Senator Carson, to move the amendment here in a second. There is an amendment to the desk. Mr. Schaffler, please read L006.
Amendment L006, amending gross bill
Senator-
basic.
I move Amendment L006.
To the amendment, Senator Carson.
Yeah, just a few comments on the amendment and the bill. I think it's important to recognize that the right to repair bill that was passed already has many exemptions, and it's a recognition of things that just should be exempt. For example, all sorts of medical equipment is exempted. All sorts of electric vehicle charging stations, for example. You've got forestry and mining equipment. You've got portable generators, marine vessels, all sorts of safety equipment that you want to exempt from this. And so what we're talking about here is basically exempting, in addition, repair documentation, software related to national security issues, water treatment facility, control mechanisms, energy pipelines, power grid related items, the financial sector, transportation operations and control. My colleague here from Manitou Springs, I think, explained the amendment very well. You know, the amendment really makes it clear. I think the most important thing in the amendment is it makes it clear that we're not talking about items that are typically sold retail to retail customers. We're talking about business to business, business to government, and the Attorney General is to consider that when evaluating requests for access to information. So I would urge an aye vote for the amendment and the bill.
Senator Snyder.
Thank you, Mr. President. And as my good colleague from Highlands Ranch pointed out, there is already a long list of excluded areas that was incorporated into the bill that passed in '24. In '25, stakeholder groups got together. They worked all session. There was a good senator from Greenwood Village was a very big part of that. They were trying to come up with a comprehensive list. They spent the whole session last year trying to they couldn't get there. So we weren't able to bring a bill. We pursued that avenue again this year and ran into the same roadblocks. I really think this balances the interests of all the parties concerned. It will not disrupt right to repair activity in Colorado except when there's a legitimate critical infrastructure concern, and it has a good referee, for lack of a better word, in the Attorney General's office. And it works equally well for manufacturers as it does for the small repair shops that may. But to my knowledge, every other state has a critical infrastructure exemption, and I could not find any evidence of there being problems in those states. Minnesota has basically the same law that we originally intended to pass. I couldn't find any evidence of any problems here. This amendment makes it a better bill, and I humbly ask for your aye vote.
The motion is the adoption of L006 to Senate Bill 90. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, are there any no votes on L006 to Senate Bill 90? Senator Zamora, this is the L006. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, L006 is adopted. To the bill, further discussion. Seeing no further discussion, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 90. Are there any no votes? Senators Marchman, Kipp, Wallace, Cutter, Gonzalez, Judah, Henriksen, Weissman, Sullivan, Zamora Wilson, Rich, Bridges, Ball. With a vote of 22 ayes, 13 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 90 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Majority Leader, Senator, Mr. Minority Leader, Liston. Please add the President. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1351.
House Bill 1351 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning the use of state education fund money to fund the Healthy School Meals for All program.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1351 on third reading and final passage.
Further discussion? There is further discussion. Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to make sure that it is clear exactly what this bill is doing, because there was a lot of false information that was going out with regard to this bill, and I just want to make sure that we have an understanding. We are not taking money away from the Healthy School Meals Program as required under the vote of the people. We are not doing that. We are not ending reporting on the Healthy School Meals Program. What we are doing is, a couple of years ago, to jumpstart this program, we took money out of the state education fund and transferred it over into the Healthy School Meals Cash Fund, which then got transferred to the Healthy School Meals for All Program Fund to jumpstart the program. It has now been 3 years later, and we are going to pay back the state education fund. That is all that is happening here. And there will be no reporting requirements on the cash fund that was created to transfer these funds in the first place. So we are not making a brazen attack to reduce reporting requirements and not have transparency in state government. We're doing what is fiscally responsible and paying back the state education fund and following through on our processes. Just want to make sure everyone has an understanding of what this bill actually does.
Further discussion on 1351. Seeing no further discussion, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1351. Are there any no votes? Senators Zamora Wilson, Baisley, with a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1351 is passed. Co-sponsors.
Good.
Mr. Minority Leader, Senators Frizzell,
Good.
Pelton B., Exum, Wallace, Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1353.
House Bill 1353 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning state-administered social studies assessments and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation.
Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 261353 and ask for a aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1353. Are there any no votes? What? Senators Frizzell, Zamora Wilson, Rich, Pelton B., Baisley, Bright, Catlin, Carson, Liston, Pelton R. With a vote of, good to go, with a vote of 25 ayes, 10 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1353 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Kipp, Cutter, Wallace, Marchman, Lindstedt, Colker, Exum, Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1357.
House Bill 1357 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning phasing out the teacher recruitment, education, and preparation program and in connection therewith making and reducing an appropriation.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1357.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1357. Are there any no votes? Senators Baisley, with a vote of 34 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1357 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Marchman, Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1359.
House Bill 1359 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning crediting to the state public school fund money received from the removal of natural resources on public school lands.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning.
Good morning.
I move House Bill 261359 on third and final reading and ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1359. Are there any no votes? Senators Zamora Wilson, Frizzell, Baisley, Pelton R. Want to see how long you look at your hand? Oh, there we go. Pelton B. Catlin, Carson, with a vote of 28 ayes, 7 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1359 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Colker, Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1360.
House Bill 1360 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the Affordable Housing Financing Fund.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 261360 on third and final reading and ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1360. Are there any no votes? Senators, Mr. Minority Leader Zamora Wilson, Catlin, Baisley, Liston, Pelton R., Roberts, Carson. We're on 1360. With a vote of 27 ayes, 8 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1360 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1363.
House Bill 1363 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning a temporary reduction in the general fund reserve.
Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1363 on third reading and final passage and ask for a yes vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1363. Are there any no votes? Senator, Mr. Minority Leader Frizzell, Zamora Wilson, Rich, Pelton B., Pelton R., Bright, Liston, Catlin, Carson, Baisley, with a vote of, with a vote of 24 ayes, 11 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1363 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senator Colker, Ball, Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1373.
House Bill 1373 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning reducing monthly subsidy reimbursements percentages for child welfare services provider contracts and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 261373 on third and final reading and ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1373. Are there any no votes? Senators Baisley, Pelton R., with a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1373 is passed. Co-sponsors. $1373. Co-sponsors. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1374.
House Bill 1374 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning kinship care funding provisions.
Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1375 on third reading and final passage.
74.
Oh, my goodness. 1374 on third reading and final passage and ask for a yes vote.
Very good. Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of House Bill 1374. Are there any no votes? Senators Zamora Wilson, Rich, Mullica, Baisley, Pelton R., with a vote of 30 ayes, 5 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1374 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1380.
House Bill 1380 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the repeal of the Office of the Judicial Discipline Ombudsman.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1380 on third reading and final passage.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1380. Are there any no votes? Senators Gonzalez, Wallace, Benavidez, Judah, Weissman, Cutter, Sullivan, with a vote of 28 ayes, 7 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1380 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1385.
House Bill 1385 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning directing 100% of the funding for the Public Defender and Prosecutor Behavioral Health Support Program for state fiscal year 2026-27 to the Office of the State Public Defender.
Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1385 on third reading and final passage and ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1385. Are there any no votes? Wow, that was fast. Senator Zamora Wilson, Pelton B, Roberts, Pelton R, Liston, Baisley, Frizzell, Catlin, with a vote of 27 ayes, 8 noes, 0 absent, and 0 excused. House Bill 1385 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Colker, Wallace, Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1397.
House Bill 1397 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning the use of general fund money to support benefits provided to certain public safety personnel through a multiple employer health trust and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1397.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1397. Are there any no votes? Senators Mullica, Pelton B, Baisley, Pelton R, Frizzell, with a vote of 30 ayes, 5 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1397 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1399.
House Bill 1399 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning the elimination of the annual transfer from the general fund to the multimodal transportation and mitigation options fund and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1399 on third and final reading. Ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1399. Are there any no votes? Senator Wallace, Baisley, with a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1399 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senator Pelton R. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1401.
House Bill 1401 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning transfers of money from the Unclaimed Property Trust Fund and in connection therewith transferring money from the Unclaimed Property Trust Fund to the Housing Development Grant Fund and the General Fund in the state fiscal year 2025-2026, terminating future transfers from the Unclaimed Property Trust Fund to the Housing Development Grant Fund and the Adult Dental Fund and making and reducing appropriations.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move 1401 on third reading, final passage.
The motion is the passage of House Bill 1401. Are there any no votes? Mr. Minority Leader, Senators Rich, Frizzell, Zamora Wilson, Baisley, Liston, Pelton R, Catlin, Carson, Bright, Pelton B, with a vote of 24 ayes, 11 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1401 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1404.
House Bill 1404 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning transferring money from the Tobacco Education Programs Fund to the Preschool Programs Cash Fund and in connection therewith making and reducing an appropriation.
Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1404 on third reading and final passage and ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1404. Are there any no votes? Senators Baisley, Zamora Wilson, Pelton B, with a vote of 32 ayes, 3 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused. House Bill 1404 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1405.
House Bill 1405 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning transfers of money from certain cash funds to the general fund.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 261405 on third and final reading. Ask for an aye vote.
There's further discussion. Senator Colker.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I'm not going to be too long. 1405, if you paid attention to this, it's a transfer from cash funds. In the fiscal note, it lists 33 different cash funds that we're taking and transferring from. During appropriations the other day, I kept asking every time a cash fund came up, what the balance is of that cash fund. And at the end, when this bill came up, the cash funds that weren't included in this bill, I was asking individually for. I asked for the balance on these cash funds. And what JBC staff said at that time is, we are lacking transparency. We are lacking transparency in what these balances are. I did get some information, put it in a little spreadsheet here, try to figure out balances on some of these cash funds, because we need to know, as a state and as the representatives of the state, where all the money is. And we don't. We're working right now, my office is working right now to identify as much as possible. But I just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention, that even the JBC staff said we're lacking transparency on up-to-date information on the cash funds in our state. So something to be aware of, something for the future. You know, I agree with this bill, but I'd like to know what's left in these funds. Thank you.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. Another important thing that we should know about these funds is, where did the money come from? For a lot of cash funds, there are fees specifically that are set up to go into those cash funds. Other cash funds originate with general fund dollars. Some cash funds, there's a sort of strange waterfall that occurs where maybe they start as general fund and then move through a cash fund, another cash fund. We had some bills this year to clean up some of those waterfalls to make it more transparent about where exactly it is that the money in a cash fund comes from, or more importantly, where the money for a particular program comes from. So I agree with my colleague that more insight and clarity on cash funds would be important. 4 years ago, when I started on the Budget Committee, we had very little insight into the cash funds. Over the last 4 years, we have strongly encouraged our JBC staff, and with OSPB's help, I think we have a lot more insight and a lot more clarity on these cash funds. The first pages of every department, the good senator from Centennial may want to pay attention to this one. Chris? The first few pages of every of the briefing documents for every department, for every division, have lists of the major cash funds and their balances as of the latest information that we could get on that. So a lot of that information is in the JBC briefing documents, so I encourage you to go back and look at those. But just a single list compiled that's regularly updated would be really helpful here. Agree with the good senator from Centennial on that. Thank you. Still ask for an aye vote?
Very good. Senator Bridges will be fined $1 for referring to Senator Colker as Chris.
He wasn't paying any attention. I needed to get his attention.
I know. It's not fair, but you still owe $1. The motion is
That's right,
passage
Chris will
of
cover
House-
me for it.
The motion is passage of House Bill 1405. Are there any no votes? 1405. Yes, Senator Zamora Wilson. Senator Baisley. With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1405 is passed. Co-sponsors. Would Senator Colker like to co-sponsor this bill? Okay, no.
After all that.
Mr. Schaffler,
Of course not.
please read the title of House Bill 1411.
House Bill 1411 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning changes to health insurance benefits for certain low-income individuals who are not eligible for medical assistance due to their immigration status and in connection therewith making and reducing an appropriation.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 261411 on third and final reading. Ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1411. Are there any no votes? Senators Zamora Wilson, Liston, Pelton R. With a vote of 32 ayes, 3 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1411 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1412.
House Bill 1412 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning authorizing the Department of Healthcare Policy and Financing to use statistical sampling and extrapolation to recover overpayments to providers for certain Medicaid services and in connection therewith making and reducing an appropriation.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1412 on third reading and final passage.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1412. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1412 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Henriksen. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1413.
House Bill 1413 by Representatives Sirota and Brown and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning leave time allowed to certain public servants.
Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1413 on third reading and final passage and ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1413. Are there any no votes? Senators Zamora Wilson. With a vote of 34 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1413 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Henriksen, Weissman, Cutter, Wallace. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1409.
House Bill 1409 by Representatives Brown and Sirota and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the distribution of money collected from the retail marijuana sales tax.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 261409 on third and final reading. Ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1409. Are there any no votes? Senators Zamora Wilson, Baisley, Liston, Pelton R, Snyder. With a vote of 30 ayes, 5 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1409 is passed. Co-sponsors, Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1378.
House Bill 1378 by Representatives Sirota and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the repeal of certain behavioral health resources administered by the Behavioral Health Administration and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 261378 on third and final reading. Ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1378. Are there any no votes? Senators Baisley, 1378. With a vote of 34 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1378 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senator Pelton R. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1410.
Make your comments.
House Bill 1410 by Representatives Sirota and Senators Bridges concerning the provision for payment of the expenses of the executive, legislative, and judicial departments of the state of Colorado and of its agencies and institutions for and during the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, except as otherwise noted.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1410 on third reading and final passage.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1410. Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President, for what I expect will be my last time at the well presenting a budget to you all. Likely. I don't know that they'll have the chance. Hoping not. This is not a budget I love. This budget has cuts that have kept me up at night. The process of putting this together, I think Senator Kirkmeyer mentioned this yesterday, at some point along the way, I think just about every member of the Budget Committee shed tears as we were making these votes and making the decisions that we had to make in order to get the budget to balance as required by the Colorado Constitution. And the budget is a moral document. It puts in black and white, dollars and cents, exactly what we value and how much we value it. And more than any other year, those values were in competition. And I want to say thank you to Hillary Jorgensen, and just, I think, to share with all of you again the comments that she made yesterday. She is one of the folks in charge of the Colorado Cross Disability Coalition, has traditionally fought very hard for increases in exactly the programs this year that we had to make cuts to. And she recognized that we are not in a program expansion mode, we are in a harm reduction mode. We are doing the best that we can with the constraints that we have to do the least harm to the people of Colorado. This was a year defined by constraint. But the way that we did this, the way that we came together, the way that the Budget Committee process works, I think this is something that Coloradans should be very proud of. I want to thank first the Office of State Planning and Budgeting, OSPB, the work done by those folks to present to us a budget in November was certainly their first step, but it was not their last. Over my 4 years at the Budget Committee, we have seen an ever-increasing partnership, really, between the folks that work for us on the JBC and the folks who work for the executive branch over here. And I want to say thank you very much to all the folks at OSPB, except Speaker Ferrandino. Just kidding. I think I'd say especially Speaker Ferrandino. His leadership over there is part of why we are able to work so closely together. And if we weren't able to do that, if we didn't have that partnership, making these cuts would be much more difficult. I think the cuts would be much worse. They would be less informed. That partnership is critical, and I hope that it continues. OLLS, I think we kept our drafters up many, many nights. They did incredible work getting this bill together, getting all of the bills. I mean, you have sat through it all this morning. This is, I believe it's a historic number of bills. So to all our folks at LLS, thank you, which means I would be remiss if I didn't thank the print shop, who worked, I think, over the Easter holiday weekend to make sure that you all had the materials that you need to dig in, make your decisions, and know what it is that you're all voting on here today. Taylor and Carl are our staff on the partisan side who do incredible work over there, keeping folks updated. Really, I think if any of you in this chamber have questions about what we're doing over there, I strongly encourage you always to talk to our folks. They are fair, they are extremely on the ball, and I think they know more than I do, even immediately after we have voted on things. I'm a goldfish, and there's so much coming at us. The work that they do is truly incredible to keep folks updated on the work we're doing. And most importantly, I say this all the time, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, we have some of the best people working in state government working for us across the street on the Budget Committee. I know it is rare that we applaud on third reading, but these folks, if anyone in state government deserves a hand right now, it's our JBC staff over here. Thank you all so much. I think this year in particular, we did some very mean things to you. As far as timing goes, I know that when we ask you for cuts, it is just as hard on you all to propose some of these really heart-wrenching proposals as it is on us to vote for them. And so thank you for having the courage to always offer those up, for the hours, the many, many hours you put in, the sleepless nights. I know at least some of you slept here at the Budget Committee during the final hours of this. The work that you do is incredible. The state is better for it. Thank you for your service. And my colleagues, Senator Amabile, the moral clarity that you bring, the personal impact of the cuts that we have had to make this year, you always remind us of the human beings that are behind the decisions that we make. Your moral clarity is critical as we move through the personal relationships and impact. Means that we make different decisions than we would otherwise make because you were there. Thank you. And Senator Kirkmeyer, I say that there's no 6 people that I would rather have served on the Budget Committee with than the folks on the Budget Committee, given the legal constraints on the selection process for those members. You are direct, you are tough, you know more about state government than I think probably anyone else serving in the legislature, probably more than just about anyone else in this building. We don't always agree, but even when we disagree in good faith. And your time, energy, effort, commitment to this budget, even given the enormous challenges that being in the position you're in right now bring, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It is incredible the work that you have done, and you truly put service to the state and the people of Colorado above all else, and it shows. Thank you. And colleagues, thank you for the impact and changes you made on this budget. We're going to go talk about them with folks from the House, and we'll see where that goes. So thank you all so much. Ask for an aye vote on House Bill 1410.
Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. President. So there's not a whole lot left to say. I do just want to, people keep telling us, oh, thank you, you worked so hard, this was so hard. And it was hard, but I asked to have this job. And I am absolutely humbled that you all entrusted me with these really hard decisions. And I want you to know that I take that very seriously. I told a couple of good jokes at the Joint Budget Committee. I sometimes even made the staff laugh. But at the end of the day, I'm a dead serious person. And everything we did, I took to heart. And we all worked together. I mean, the idea that the 6 of us, I mean, all of us come from very, very different places, both in our political life and in our personal lives. And there were lots of days when we didn't agree with each other, where we didn't agree with the staff, where we didn't agree with the departments, where we were incredibly frustrated by the choices put to us. And that piece of working together, I will say, even without the legal constraints, there really aren't 6 people who I think could have done better than we did in terms of figuring this out, in terms of working together, and in terms of honoring each other and honoring each other's positions on different things, whether we agreed with it or disagreed with it. And one thing that I think all of us know and knew the whole time for this last 6 months is that at the end of the day, this is the only bill that has to pass, this and the education funding. The only 2 bills that has to pass. And we have to balance the budget. That's our constitutional obligation. And so that's what we're doing here today. And I appreciate all the vigor you all put into the amendment process yesterday, and all the digging in that you did, and all the people out there in the lobby who really care about what we did and what we didn't do and how we did it. And I will say that everyone worked incredibly hard. But nobody worked as hard as the staff And so I just have to echo the comments from Mr. Vice Chair, that this also is an incredible honor to be able to work hand in hand with some of the smartest people in the building and some of the hardest working people in the building. And so thank you. It really has meant a lot. And thank you to all of my colleagues. I would have rather been there being a part of the decision making than having those decisions made by us. And so I appreciate you all allowing that to happen, and I appreciate all the input that you provided along the way.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to start off with the thank yous. Thank you to the JBC staff. They put in a yeoman amount of work, and they put up with all of us. Of course, we put up with them. But there's a lot, and they did work over the Easter weekend, and they did work probably close to Thanksgiving and over Christmas and put in a lot of time. We start this process, all the way back in November, but it truly does go year-round for us, but it's full-time after November. And so I appreciate everything, the sweat and the tears that they put in to this budget as well, and that they do every year, and they have to go back and answer all of our questions, and sometimes they look at us and they're not sure what the question actually meant, but they go find an answer anyways. So I appreciate all of you, and appreciate the Office of State Planning and Budget and their staff as well. They put in a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it's the same thing. We have a lot of questions for them. I know we all meet with the Director of OSPB, Director Ferrandino, on a regular basis during the budget process as well, and that's appreciated. We get to get some insight into what's going on in the executive branch and what their thoughts are. And I would also like to thank, we thank the lobbyists, we thank the legislators, but this year in particular, I would say on any given day, we probably got emails from hundreds of people in the public who were paying attention. Hundreds. I can still remember the call I had on the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. I thought there was going to be 6 to 8 parents. There were over 80 parents on a Zoom call advocating for their children in this budget. That is who I really want to thank for being engaged, for giving us that information, those people who have to live by and deal with a lot of the decisions that are made within this budget, especially with regard to funding. So thank you to all of those people as well. We had some discussion about this yesterday a little bit, and I'm just going to say it again. The budget is not just shaped by 6 members on the Joint Budget Committee. Yes, we have to sit there and do the work of putting it together and bringing it across the street. But the budget is shaped actually by 100 people. And it is our legislative constitutional duty and mandate to write the budget. But it is 100 people. And it's not just the week that the House spends on the budget or the week that the Senate spends on the budget. It's the bills that you pass, or the bills that you would have passed, or that you did pass, that shape this budget. If you didn't notice it, when we were going through with the legislation and the provisions the bills that we had to bring forward that were Joint Budget Committee bills, yeah, we were making a lot of cuts, and those were cuts to programs. And they were in bills that were sponsored by a lot of us, a lot of you. Bills that were sponsored by people, 6, 7 years ago or longer that we were making changes to. So the budget is not just shaped by 6 people on the Joint Budget Committee. It's shaped by every legislator in this building. And yes, we all do come from different backgrounds, different experiences, and we have different beliefs. And that's okay. It's what makes us better. It makes us, push us to be better. The budget protects what matters most. This budget, in my mind, protects what matters most. We continued historic funding for education. We didn't cut K-12 education. We didn't go back to a budget stabilization factor. We protected historic funding for education. We protected access to health care for everyone, not just those that are the poorest of poor and the medically fragile, but for everyone in the state of Colorado. And we preserved critical investments in public safety. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure it's probably the same. Those are the issues that our constituents, whether they are Republicans, Democrats, unaffiliated, independents, or not even registered, those are the issues, the core priorities that our constituents believe that we should be funding. Those are basic responsibilities of government, and I believe they should always come first. A budget is a planning document. It outlines what we intend to allocate and spend taxpayer money on. These are not our revenues. We are not a business that provides goods and we collect money from. We get money from our constituents, the taxpayers in the state of Colorado. So it's how we are going to spend our money in the future. It serves as a guide for managing resources and effectively ensuring that our financial decisions align with our goals and priorities and the wants and needs and desires of our constituents. A budget, though, is more than just numbers on a page. It is a moral document. And it reflects everyone's values and priorities. It shows what we truly care about by revealing where we choose to invest those resources and who we are committed to supporting with them. It is time, though, that we take seriously the change that we all, and when I say we, I'm talking about all of us, all 100 legislators. It's time that we look at what's going on in this budget. For too long, the structural budget deficit has been ignored. We didn't take it as seriously as we, and I keep saying we, because I'm talking about all of us. We did not take it as seriously as we should have, starting all the way back in March of 2021, when we knew that we were in a structural deficit, that we were doing way too much one-time spending on ongoing general fund operating costs. We cannot continue to balance the budget. I know we have to glide into this. I know we can't make all these cuts all at once. Believe me, I know. I'm in the minority. But we cannot continue to balance this budget with one-time money and paying for ongoing expenses time and time again. That truly is the definition of insanity. And we have to change our ways. We need to require upon each of us, and it's upon everybody in here. It's not just the 6 members on the Joint Budget Committee. Everyone in here needs to remember that we are prioritizing core services that families count on. And we need to have that reminder from all of us to each of us that government works best when it focuses on the basics, lives within its means, and put the people of Colorado ahead of politics. This budget does not fix everything, but it is a start. And lastly, I do want to thank my colleagues that I served with on the Joint Budget Committee. And please, I know the good senator from Greenwood Village doesn't think he's going to be back here next year, but if he is, I do hope that you intend to vote him back on to the Joint Budget Committee. Because who else will I have to supply cashews and other food, beef jerky and other things and cookies to make sure that he shows up and that I have someone to argue and debate with about, especially Tabor, which I'm sure that is going to go on. But I would just say, firstly, with the good senator from Greenwood Village, I appreciate you. Over the course of the last 6 years, serving with you both on the Education Committee, where we sit next to each other, and now on the Joint Budget Committee, where we sit next to each other. We have truly gotten to know each other. We have built a foundation of trust, which is extremely important, especially in this business, especially in our roles. And we have built that foundation of trust. We don't always agree, but I do know that when you give me your word is solid. I have enjoyed watching you have a family. It has changed you. It has changed you a lot, in many good ways. But you have been staunchly strong when it comes to the budget, defending your caucus's position, defending your own position, but truly looking out for the people of the state of Colorado. And for that, I am grateful. And to the good senator from Boulder, you have told more than just a few jokes at the Joint Budget Committee. I truly, truly enjoy working with you. I've only known you for a couple of years here, but you know, when we work on the Joint Budget Committee, it's pretty close quarters. Our offices are all right next to each other. We can hear each other down the hallway. They're not that far apart. So we get to know each other pretty well. I know what your priorities are. I know you believe in them strongly. You fight for them so hard. It's incredible to watch you when you are bringing up those priorities. And for those of you who don't know, it's behavioral health services. And the good senator from Boulder will not let us rest until she has made sure that we all have an understanding of the importance of this, not just to her family, but to many families throughout this state, the importance of behavioral health services and how we deliver those services in the state. It was extremely touching to me when you brought that group down that you're a member of, and they were here on our Senate floor, and you talked about them, and you talked about why you were part of that group. And that is at the core of you, and it's extremely important that you keep bringing that to the Joint Budget Committee. You're truly a remarkable person, and I truly enjoy working with you. So with that, we still have a lot of work to do. Like I said, this budget is a start. It doesn't fix everything. We still have a lot of work to do. I appreciate the work that we did yesterday. I appreciate the comments that every single one of you have. This week is truly your turn to put your fingerprints on the budget for the state of Colorado, and it's your responsibility. We do have a mandate to pass a constitution. We have a constitutional mandate to pass a balanced budget, and I will be adhering to that constitutional mandate and upholding my oath and voting for this budget, and I ask the same of all of you. Thank you.
Further discussion on House Bill 1410. There is discussion on House Bill 1410. Senator Frizzell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to say a couple of words very quickly. I want to also thank the Joint Budget Committee for their incredibly hard work on this budget. I can't imagine, I feel like you must feel like you live in a fishbowl, because I know that I'm always looking at you to see, you know, how's it going, and feeling you out. I think your work is incredibly important and unbelievably difficult, especially this year. I just wanted to say a couple of words about the two amendments that that you all passed, that I brought yesterday. The IDD community is true grassroots advocacy, and they are very vocal. You probably have seen many emails from them, but they're not part of huge organizations with lobbyists. That's not their space, but they are very passionate about what is important to them, and that is their kids. These are individuals who live lives that literally none of us can imagine. These are parents who bear burdens and responsibilities that are beyond comprehension. They're people whose biggest fear is dying before their disabled child. So I wanted to get up here and explain my vote, because I am going to be a yes for today on the long bill, on House Bill 1410. Because I'm going to put my vote where my voice has been. I ask that those amendments and the work that was done yesterday stick with the bill. And I know it's a long shot, but I'm making that ask. And I reserve the right to change my vote if that doesn't happen. Thank you very much.
Further discussion on 1410. Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. It has been a privilege and an honor to do this work over the last 4 years, again, with some of the best folks who work in state government. This is a budget done right. This is legislating done right. Washington, D.C. should take notes from this building. This is how government should work. I renew my motion for 1410.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1410. Are there any no votes? Senators, Mr. Minority Leader, Zamora Wilson, Rich, Pelton B, Baisley, Liston, Bright, Carson, Pelton R, Catlin, with a vote of 25 ayes, 10 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused. House Bill 1410 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Amabile, oh, you were high-fiving, Snyder, Colker, Lindstedt. Reconsideration, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Having voted on the prevailing side, I move for the reconsideration of House Bill 1399.
The motion is reconsideration of House Bill 1399. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. What? But the ayes have it. That motion is adopted. Reconsideration is granted. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1399.
House Bill 1399 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Amabile and Kirkmeyer concerning the elimination of the annual transfer from the general fund to the multimodal transportation and mitigation options fund and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation.
Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1399.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the repassage of House Bill 1399. We're holding for a second.
It's above 1413.
Yeah, it comes right after 1397 and before 1401.
The motion is the passage of House Bill 1399. Are there any no votes?
This is the multimodal.
Any no votes on 1399? On 1399. Are there any no votes on 1399? 1399. Any no votes? Oh, you're a yes.
Never mind.
Let's make it show. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1399 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Would you like to co-sponsor Senator Baisley? It's all good. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Having voted on the prevailing side, I move for the reconsideration of House Bill 1413.
The motion is reconsideration of House Bill 1413. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no.
No.
But the ayes have it. That motion is adopted and reconsideration is granted. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1413.
House Bill 1413 by Representatives Sirota and Brown and Senators Amabile and Bridges concerning leave time allowed to certain public servants.
Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1413.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion is the repassage of House Bill 1413. Are there any no votes? Wow, what's going on here? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1413 is repassed. Co-sponsor, Senator Zamora Wilson? No? It's all good.
Robert. Jeez.
You want me in the picture?
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm here to do business. I'm here to do business.
One more. One more, Jeff.
Oh, there's one more.
Jeff, you got to go back to work.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move, having voted on the prevailing side, I move for the reconsideration of House Bill 1360.
The motion is for the reconsideration of House Bill 1360. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no.
No.
Wow. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted and reconsideration is granted. Mr. Schaffler, please read the title of House Bill 1360.
House Bill 1360 by Representatives Brown and Taggart and Senators Bridges and Kirkmeyer concerning the Affordable Housing Financing Fund.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of House Bill 1360 on third and final reading again and ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion is the repassage of House Bill 1360. Are there any no votes? Senator Marchman. Mr. Minority Leader. Zamora Wilson. Baisley. Roberts. Catlin. Carson. Pelton R. Liston. With a vote of 26 ayes, 9 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1360 is repassed. Co-sponsors. That's it. Good job, team. Co-sponsors? No? All right. General orders. Second reading of the bill's consent calendar. Senator Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of general orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. That motion is adopted. Senate resolve itself Committee of the Whole consideration of general orders, second bills. Consent calendar. Senator Wallace will take the chair.
The committee will come to order. The court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the titles to all the bills on the general orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar?
House Bill 1262 by Representatives Stewart K. and Stewart R. and Senators Ball and Roberts concerning preserving patient access to compound medical items. Senate Bill 145 by Senators Bright and Kipp and Representatives Basnaker and Gilchrist concerning charter school involvement in local ballot questions.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the passage of the two bills on general order, second reading of bills consent calendar and the accompanying committee reports, which is House Bill 1262 and the Health and Human Services report, and Senate Bill 145 and the Education report.
Is there any discussion of any of the committee reports? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of all of the committee reports to all of the bills on the general order, second reading of bills consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the reports are adopted. Is there any discussion of the bills on the consent calendar? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of all of the bills on the general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills are adopted. Majority Leader Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report.
Senator Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has had two bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
April 16, 2026, Mr. President, and Committee of the Whole begs leave to report as had under consideration the following attached bills being the second reading thereof and makes following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 145, as amended, passed in second reading in order engrossed and placed in the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1262, amended as passed on second reading in order revised and placed in the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
The motion is the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 145 is amended, passed second reading, order of gross place, count of third reading, and final passage. House Bill 1262 is amended, passed second reading, order of revised place, count of third reading, and final passage. General orders. Second reading of bills. Senator Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of general orders, second reading of bills.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that's a weird motion, but it's a weird vote. The motion is adopted. The Senate resolves subcommittee of consideration general order second bills. Not consent. Just second reading bills. And Senator Wallace will take the chair. You vote twice. That's what it is.
The committee will come to order, and the coat rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1084?
House Bill 1084 by Representative Espinosa and Camacho and Senators Weissman and Lindstedt concerning voter transparency requirements to expand information about the funding of initiated statewide ballot measures and in connection therewith requiring the ballot title and abstract of the fiscal impact statement for certain initiated statewide ballot measures to identify the main areas of state expenditure that would be affected by the measure.
Senator Lindstedt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1084 on second reading.
Is there further discussion? Senator Lindstedt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's a little bit ironic that we're considering this bill today on the same day that we passed the budget, because the intent of this bill is to give voters the same information that legislators have when we're making decisions about spending priorities. I think when voters send us what is essentially an unfunded mandate to expand or expend public funds on services, it is important for them to know where that money could come from. And the intent of this bill is to give voters the same information that we have when we're making spending priority decisions on where dollars come from, because everything has trade-offs. And it is important that voters have that information when they're making those decisions. I will say that this bill in its current form, we'll have an amendment coming up that will change it to be a little bit dialed back in an effort to get it passed. We've been working really hard to get something that can pass this General Assembly and be signed into law so that we can continue to protect critical public services and ensure that our electorate, who I trust immensely, has the information they need when making spending decisions at the ballot box.
Senator Weissman.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Just to add a little bit, and then we'll start charting our new course. Article 5 of our Constitution is the legislative power. And in the first instance, the 100 of us with the privilege to be in here are vested by the Constitution with that power. But as amended in the early 20th century, the Constitution also puts a very strong quantum of the legislative power in the people through the initiative process. We are over 400 titles submitted to review and comment on all manner of issues by all manner of proponents, because we have one of the most robust initiative mechanisms of any state in the country. We actually didn't really coordinate our remarks, but I was thinking a lot of the same things that the senator from Broomfield just spoke to. When we are here engaging in fiscal decisions, we have the benefit of the nonpartisan staff, for example, from the Joint Budget Committee that we just very rightly bragged on. Also nonpartisan staff from LCS, from LLS, maybe from the auditor's office as well, to help us make the decisions that we're here to make. The intent of 1084 and the intent of prior legislation that this builds on was we can't fully put 6 million folks, 4+ million voters in our state in the same position, but to make a little bit more information a little bit more accessible. There was a measure years ago that added some language to ballot titles for tax measures so that people could have that information accessible, not have to dig into the Blue Book or do their own research on the internet. Again, you can vote however you want, but the point is it's right there in the ballot title. But that was only for tax measures. There are other measures that can be very fiscally impactful, short of going into the tax code. What 1084, as it comes before the Senate right now, seeks to do was provide comparable treatment for non-tax measures with a fiscal impact in the title with de minimis exceptions. However, as we all know, the process of a bill becoming a law involves bicameralism and presentment, and what has been made manifest to us is that should 1084 in its current version be presented to the executive, it would be met with a veto. This is the part where you got your own bill to get something done, so I have an amendment.
There is an amendment at the desk. Excuse me, will the clerk please read amendment number 5?
Amendment L5, amend
Senator
re-engross
Weissman.
bill.
Thanks, Madam Chair. We move L5 to House Bill 1084.
Is there any discussion to the amendment, Senator Weissman?
Yeah, members, to unpack what this does, there's copies up here if folks want to take a look at it. The re-engrossed bill proposes changes in the ballot title statutes and also the Blue Book statutes. What the amendment is doing is basically ripping out all of the proposed changes concerning the title, leaving only a little bit of new language that will be found as amended near the top of page 6 in the Blue Book. No ballot title changes, a little bit of new language in the Blue Book in terms of treating these non-tax but fiscally impactful measures the same way that we already treat tax fiscally impactful measures. We think it's a shame that voters in the next cycle, 27-8, are going to be deprived of this quantum of information in the ballot title, but we're getting a little bit more in the Blue Book, and I guess we'll take that for now. We ask for a yes vote on L5.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of amendment number 5. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. Further discussion on the bill, Senator Zamora-Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we heard this in committee, and I have concerns in the fact that this process is, I mean, it's a wonderful process for citizens of Colorado to bring forth their ideas, real grassroots, and it's a really challenging process. If you've never gone through it, number one, it's very expensive, but just trying to get through all the hoops is really very difficult. And I'm concerned that this can have a chilling effect on that political engagement. I have concerns in regards to where this bill will require ballot titles for citizen-initiated measures that increase state spending without identified funding, to disclose estimated reductions in these three largest impacted areas. And how many times have we received information and physical notes on our bills and we don't agree with it? What is how do people, citizens, seek redress or corrections if they disagree with that and they can show it? I don't know how this is in the bill, but there needs to be a way where citizens can have a rebuttal against that. I think this is also a way where some bias can be inserted, where analysts, you're talking about an incredible amount of, panel of 10 analysts can influence an election on these measures that are coming out. And so that brings concern, and I think this needs more assessment, and I would urge a no vote on House Bill 26-1084. Thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1084. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. No. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1202? No.
House Bill 1202 by Representative Rootenell, Sirota, and Senator Amabile, concerning strategies to mitigate homelessness and in connection therewith requiring the Department of Local Affairs to present a proposal for statewide strategy on homelessness prevention and resolution, allowing local governments to create multi-jurisdictional homelessness authorities and allowing real estate documentary fees to be used for affordable housing.
Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1202.
to the bill.
Thank you. So the bill is about creating a statewide plan for how we address homelessness. It has three parts. The first is creating a statewide, asking DOLA to come up with a statewide plan for addressing homelessness. The second section allows local governments to work together. It isn't setting up a special taxing district. It's not that. It's just saying local governments can, if they want to, create regional approach to homelessness. And the third section says that if a county wants to, and if they have some extra money from their real estate filing fees, they can use those dollars to help address affordable housing and homelessness solutions. And before I turn it over to my co-prime, I will just say, like so many things, and so many of us, I do have a family member who has been homeless on the streets, and it's a complicated problem. There isn't just one thing or two things that address the homelessness situation that we have. I live in Boulder, and we have a big problem with people living on the street, and everybody's there for a different reason. And so we do need some strategies that are broader than what one local government can accomplish. And that's what this bill is about. It doesn't cost the state any money. It doesn't cost local governments any money. It doesn't cost anybody any money. I know that's a big issue for us this year. And so I would encourage everyone to vote yes.
Further discussion, Senator Marchman.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I just want to thank the good senator from Boulder for allowing me to co-prime with you on this. Loveland has made a lot of national and statewide news because of the homelessness issue that we struggle with. When it comes down to it, homelessness at its core is a housing issue. There are a lot of other components, but when it comes down to it, it's a housing issue, and we are the 8th least affordable state for housing in the country. I've had some reach out about Section 3, so if it's okay, I'm going to dive into Section 3 just real briefly before we start the debate. Section 3 deals with a documentary fee. This is a fee that is collected. For instance, if you have a $575,000 home purchase, you would pay $57.50 for this documentary fee. The funds are collected at a local level, and original statute does not really say how that fee is to be used. And so because it is a fee, it should be used to provide the service. And so that's what the clerks and recorders in different parts of the state do. So nothing structurally changes in this bill about the fee, about how it's collected or charged, and it doesn't force local governments to use the fee any differently. What it does is it allows them, if they would like, and if there is extra money after dealing with the administrative costs of the documentation, that they can use that for affordable housing. So that's what that is. I'm eager to hear the debate and look forward to your aye vote on this important measure.
Further discussion, Senator Zamora Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We heard this in committee, and we have a housing issue. Housing is unaffordable. If we truly want to get to the root of the problem, we need to look at why is this happening. And I can tell you, we've regulated the housing market, the insurance market. You've heard me say it before, we're the 6th most regulated state in the country. Those bring in costs. That is truly why We're having issues. We can't afford housing. We can't afford insurance. Can't afford, it's so hard, the cost of living. And that's unfortunately, the consequences of these regulations, costs that get passed down to the citizens. And I mean, this is a classic. More government will fix what the government broke. This is not the role of the government. And the last thing we need is more government. We need to treat the core issues and take a look at those regulations, and we need to deregulate. So I would urge a no vote on House Bill 1202.
Senator Frizzell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am here to speak in opposition for House Bill 26-1202. There's so much. So to begin with, I'm happy to talk about Section 3 regarding the documentary fee, or sometimes we called it the doc fee in assessor world and county clerk world. I actually had the opportunity, I called up my county clerk, the Douglas County Clerk and Recorder, who I've known for many years, the other day, because I was curious as to whether the Clerks Association had weighed in on this particular funding source for this bill, for this policy. And they were very much aware of the bill, didn't like the bill, and especially have concerns around the use of the documentary fee. Because, so this is the thing, the doc fee goes towards the expenses that county clerks have in just their day-to-day business. It offsets payroll, it offsets supplies, it offsets equipment or software that are used in recording of documents. So this is expensive to record documents, and just providing that service. And counties, we tend to be a little disassociated from costs that are going on in other levels of government, whether it's municipalities or counties. I have found that in my 3 years here in this building to be candidly kind of an issue, because we are really good at pushing costs downstream and creating unfunded mandates for counties and municipalities without really much regard to how we do that or whether it's even feasible for them. So in my conversation with my county clerk, she told me something I already knew, is counties are already having financial issues. They have burdens with expenses that are ever increasing for them, whether it is the cost of purchasing asphalt to fix roads, or health insurance for employees, or providing cost of living increases to employees, upkeep of buildings. The financial strain on counties is extraordinary. And this documentary fee is not even covering the cost of providing services in clerk and recorder's offices. That's the information from the Douglas County Clerk and Recorder. And the way that they also look at it is this is an extreme overreach by the state. This policy, especially this part of this policy, is extreme overreach. saying that this fee that's being collected for work that the county is doing can be used or diverted. And I get it. I get it, because it says in the first sentence of section 3, that's on page 13, line 27, a county may designate a portion of the money collected from the documentary fee other than the portion that is used to offset administrative costs related to recording and maintaining real property deeds and instruments. Okay, so the county may. So I'm understanding this, that this is an election that the county can make. And if it is an election that the county can make, that's awesome. And I appreciate that, because we don't want an unfunded mandate on counties. But at the same time, is this policy creating these multi-jurisdictional homelessness response authorities that are dependent on this finance vehicle, these documentary fees? And what does that actually look like? Because if they don't get them, if the county says, no, hard pass, we actually need those fees to provide services, we need those fees to provide recording services to our citizens, so you don't get them, what are they going to turn to? Well, that's okay, because it says here that there are many, that this policy creates other opportunities for revenue. They can collect revenue through the sale of property or services. I'm not sure what that looks like, so maybe people are donating property and they sell it, I'm not sure. They can incur debt. Okay, that's a problem. Accepting gifts, grants, or donations, issuing bonds. So I'm not sure what that looks like unless they own property to bond against or expect revenue that they can bond against. Oh, but wait, here's another one. Sales tax revenue levied by the participating local governments as apportioned to them through the intergovernmental agreement and approved through ballot initiatives. And then documentary fee revenue. So I am a little confused, perhaps, about why this is something the state needs to do when this is a local government issue. I believe homelessness should be dealt with locally. I don't, we continue to roll out programs, and interestingly enough, we just finished talking about the state budget and the structural deficit that we have here in the state of Colorado. And yet here we have another bill that reflects a continued shift towards centralized, state-driven approaches to fill in the blank problem. So I have these comments that I wanted to make. I have other comments that I'd like to make, and it has to do with accountability for these homelessness response authorities, because I don't really see where that is spelled out in this bill. And that is fundamentally one of the issues. If we talk about the amount of money, and we'll just use Denver, the city and county of Denver, as a poster child here. I think that I saw that city and county of Denver is spending somewhere in the neighborhood of $67,000 per year per homeless person in the city and county of Denver. And yet, the numbers keep increasing. So are we solving a problem? Are we really addressing it? Are the people who are providing these services actually accountable for success? Is anybody paying attention to the vast, vast amounts of money that are being poured into these programs with what I would consider little measured success? That concerns me about this policy. The other thing that I find, and I think I'm working backward from the bill, so I apologize, because I started off with dock fees, and now I'm kind of getting to the front of the building, which has everything to do with the Department of Local Affairs creating, oh, let me get to that, sorry. Let me pull that up in the bill because it is at the beginning. And it was the Department of Local Affairs. Would be as a part of their SMART Act hearings, which we all enjoy so much, beginning in the January of 2027. So it gives them a whole year to do this. Okay, not quite a year because it is April, but they would be required to submit and present a proposal for the development of a statewide strategy on homeless prevention and resolution. And then the bill goes on to spell out in great detail the things that are to be included in this report, which, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that DOLA is doing this for free. There is no fiscal note attached to that. God bless them. Out of the goodness of their hearts, they are doing this huge report that will be reported in January of 2027. So this must be kind of an all hands on deck sort of thing. How could that be? Perhaps they are overstaffed and they have excess resources, in which case that would have been a good thing to know as we were passing the budget. The other comment I would like to make about this particular Section 1 and this report and the statewide strategy on homelessness prevention and resolution. I have so many thoughts on this because we have been working on this problem literally for years. Senator Hickenlooper, when he was in office, I believe as mayor of Denver, rolled out an extraordinary initiative to do away with homelessness. Rolled it out. We keep trying to throw money at a problem that seems to be getting worse and worse. And I question the strategy. Because we all know what the definition of insanity is, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. But here we are. Colorado does have a homelessness issue. I agree. It's not getting better. It's getting worse, and it's getting worse for a lot of different reasons. There are a lot of studies. I have perused this really interesting study that was done by the Common Sense Institute, which is, that was released in April of 2025. And it's entitled "No Place to Call Home: The Stark Reality of Homelessness in Colorado." And it starts off right off the bat. Yes, we have a homelessness issue. Yes, it's getting worse. But then it does go on and talk about strategies that are working in other parts of the country and that aren't working here and in other parts of the country. This is pretty cool. Maybe that's why DOLA can not have to charge for their extraordinary report that they're going to create. Members, I have many issues with this bill. Many issues. I'm gonna say it again. We continue to pass policy that shifts Colorado towards centralized, state-driven approaches to problems, even if those problems are best addressed at a local level, and this one is. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to backtrack a little bit and talk about documentary fees. Y'all having fun?
There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read amendment number 10?
Amendment L10, amend reading gross
Senator
bill.
Frizzell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Amendment L10 to House Bill 1202.
To the amendment, please.
Thank you. I think I already talked about documentary fees, talked about my conversation with the Douglas County Clerk and Recorder, talked about the fiscal health of counties and the need for counties to retain these fees. I don't see that this is a particularly productive portion of the bill, given the fiscal situation that we find ourselves in as a state and counties and municipalities. And so this amendment simply removes the use of documentary filing fees, which are collected for filing documents associated with conveying real property for multi-jurisdictional authorities. So that's it. It just prevents the redirection of existing local government revenue because it is, doc fees are, local government revenue. They are to support administrative functions related to transactions in the clerk and recorder's office, and this bill expands that use to other things, and that's not appropriate. I ask for an aye vote on this amendment.
Further discussion, Senator Amabile.
Did you want to speak on this? Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. So I guess I would say that these are local fees, and what we are doing with this section is giving local governments flexibility over how they might like to spend their own local fees. And if they don't have any money, if they don't want to do it, they don't have to. It's just completely permissive. It just says this actually is an allowable use of these fees. And I will say these fees have been around for a very, very long time. And so when they were first established, they did not have to do with Tabor. They are just fees are around recording your real estate transaction. And there's nothing in the bill that says anybody has to do anything with that. It simply permits a local county, if they want to, they don't have to. And so I would ask for a no vote on this amendment.
Further discussion on amendment L10? Senator Rich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I rise in support of L010. I am a former county clerk, and I understand that these are permissive, but the state should not be, I don't even know why we have this bill. This is a local government issue, and I don't think that we should even put this into law to even allow it to be considered, because as a former county clerk, these fees, at least in the county I was the clerk in, were used to balance the clerk's budget. And now you're going to want to redirect those to something that hasn't worked in the last 8 years that I've been here. So I ask for an aye vote on L010 and appreciate you bringing it forward.
Further discussion on Amendment L10? Seeing none, the motion is for the adoption of Amendment L10. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. No. The noes have it, and the amendment is lost. To the bill, Senator Frizzell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, that was disappointing, but unfortunately, I have another amendment around documentary fees.
There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read amendment number 11?
Amendment L11, amending gross bill, page
Senator
13.
Frizzell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Amendment L11 to House Bill 1202.
Further discussion, Senator Frizzell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, the thing that I worry about, because I worry a lot, I'm a worrier, is going back to page 13, line 27, where we have now, if this is adopted, if this policy is adopted, and we put these words into a red book that say, a county may designate a portion of the money collected from the documentary fee. All you have to do is go in one time, 1 year, maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now, and strike that may to shall, and all of a sudden it is no longer permissive. It is no longer permissive at all. And so this amendment, L11, simply prohibits the use of documentary filing fees for multi-jurisdictional authorities unless approved by a majority of the voters within the county. So this amendment ensures voter accountability for new funding mechanisms. The bill allows the county to redirect the documentary fee revenue towards housing and homelessness initiatives without requiring. The bill currently allows counties to redirect documentary filing fee revenue toward housing and homelessness initiatives without requiring direct voter approval. And this amendment simply says, nope, it's up to the voters, and they make the decision how that documentary fee is distributed. I ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion on Amendment L11, Senator Merchman.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I just urge a no vote on L11. This is the portion of the bill that CML and CCI are incredibly supportive of. What I have heard from my community in Loveland is that homelessness is not something that they're able to solve at a local level. This is exactly what they're asking for, is more of a regional look at things. And so adding this step that L11 would require is kind of goes against the local control message of what we're after. So again, I would urge a no vote on L11.
Further discussion, Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise in support of L11. I think it strikes right to the heart of local control and asking if indeed we're going to divert part of these filing costs to support actions of the authority. We really, I think even the creation of the authority is going to require a vote of the people. I think this follows right in suit and in line and says if you're going to create the authority and then you want to shift part of the funding in the filing fees to help support the authority, I think it makes perfect sense to go to the voters and ask for permission to do that. I think L11 is a reasonable approach to make this bill incrementally a little bit better. Ask for your support.
Further discussion, Senator Carson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also would like to speak in favor of the amendment, Amendment 11 by the senator from Castle Rock. You know, I think this just reflects the belief that a lot of us have that the way to deal with homelessness effectively is at the local level. I see plan after plan, whether it's at the federal level, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit when I offer an amendment, but the federal government has had substantial plans to end chronic homelessness, as they called it, and in my opinion, they were not terribly effective. The state government continually wants to dive into this. You know, a lot of these plans that get developed seem to me to be good at just about one thing, and that is counting the number of homeless people. And it never seems to get to the root issues and the root causes that need to be addressed. I think there's a lot of different approaches to homelessness, and I'll talk about some of those that I've worked on when I was the regional director at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development a few years back. But I don't think having more plans, whether at the federal or the state level, is going to do much of anything. And in fact, you know, if you look at the past history of all of these, at the end of the day, we always seem to have more homeless people. And so we're not doing something right. We need to start taking a different approach and look at the models that work. There are models that work out there. But unfortunately, I think a lot of the so-called experts in this field don't like those models that work for a number of reasons, which again I will talk about in a bit here. For this time, I would like to support Amendment 11 here because I do think we need to focus on the localities and get the voters and citizens in the localities engaged on this issue instead of always saying, well, the state or some other higher level of government is going to address this problem.
Further discussion on Amendment 11? Seeing none, the motion is for the adoption of Amendment 11. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? No. The noes have it, and the amendment is lost.
Okay.
To further discussion on the bill, Senator Carson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't think there's any question that we all want to do what we can to help end homelessness. But I think, you know, there's basically two broad approaches to this issue. You know, there's the housing first model, I think is generally called. You know, housing is a basic human right, it's said. And let's provide it. Let's just provide housing to people. And when we do that, we're not necessarily going to require sobriety or employment. We're just going to support folks and provide the housing. I think the other major model is, in my opinion, the one that works much better, which is to say, you got to get the treatment first, you've got to agree to work, you've got to agree to engage in sobriety programs and self-sufficiency, and the housing has to be linked to that. Now, I think I've mentioned before, early in my career, I was fortunate to work in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill for members of the Senate and the House, and I worked there over a decade or so. And, you know, I decided along with my wife that we wanted to move back to Colorado, and we were very fortunate in 2001 when George W. Bush was elected that I was able to be appointed to be the what's called the regional director at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So each federal agency has a director or administrator. So in that position, I was based here in Denver and oversaw a 6-state region. And a lot of what we worked on then was these 10-year plans to end chronic homelessness. And it all sounded very good, and I think people were obviously sincere in wanting to put these plans together at the federal level, really under the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. as it's called. And they devoted tremendous, tremendous resources to ending chronic homelessness. And each state, Denver was a part of it. Denver had the biggest plan, obviously, in the region where I worked to end chronic homelessness. But one of the things I found very interesting when I got into the job, I knew a little about a group called Step 13 here in Denver. It's now called Step Denver. And I said to the federal folks, you know, in the administration, well, here in Denver, you know, if we want to be looking at different options for ending homelessness, we ought to go and visit Step 13, talk to those folks, because my understanding is they're pretty successful at ending homelessness. And I was very quickly told that we either do not want to work with Step 13 or we cannot work with Step 13. I said, well, why is that? I mean, that's what they're all about. And some of the things I was told were, well, number one, they make people they drug test everybody. In order to participate in the program, you have to be drug tested and alcohol tested regularly to determine if you are maintaining your sobriety. Another thing we don't like is the people in the program have to work. Much of what they do at Step 13 involves things like repairing automobiles, working on various projects, some of them at the facility, some of them outside in the neighborhood. But the basic idea is if you are not there to work, you're not going to get the housing. And they're very strict. If you don't pass the sobriety test, you're out. Now, I have heard, on some occasions they will give people a second chance, and that's up to them. But the point is, these governmental agencies don't particularly care for programs that make it clear that you got to work, you got to be focusing on turning your life around, focusing on your addictions. And if you talk to people that have been homeless and had these issues, the successful ones seem to agree with this, is that you've got to, you've got to be willing to make change. And until you're willing to do that, you're not going to be terribly successful. So I think there are clearly different categories of homeless individuals. Clearly, mental illness is a big part of the issue. And in that category, I think we have to do whatever we can to make sure that those individuals get the treatment that they need, they get the medication that they need, and that they're regularly incentivized and made sure that the medications and the other treatments are administered and taken. And we did have some discussions on this issue recently in the Judiciary Committee, where we talked about this whole issue of people who are mentally ill, and sometimes,
Senator Carson, sir, I want to ask you to come back to the crux of this bill here, which is about local governments and their ability to run these programs around homelessness, sir.
Well, this is a grand plan to end homelessness and plan around homelessness in Colorado, so I think it's a pretty wide-ranging topic, Madam Chair. I think we're a lot of different aspects to this that I wanted to touch on, if I may, because I think we need to focus on how we're going to end homelessness, not how we're just going to keep doing more studies and planning. And so with the mental illness issue, we talked about the fact that a lot of people seem to have this view, well, you can't require people to be in facilities and so forth, and that's not really true. I know the senator from Boulder is very active in this issue, and she actually spoke at the hearing we had on one piece of legislation about this issue, that we need to be more assertive for the folks who are mentally ill and require help, and make sure they get the help, and not just have this attitude of, well, we can't make anybody do anything. I think a lot of times that's just a cop-out. I think the other big area is clearly alcohol addiction, drug addiction, and that really is the area, I think, where Step 13, Step Denver really shows what works. Is, you know, their approach is, you want to come into the facility, we're going to help you. In fact, their motto is, the program is a peer-to-peer residential treatment program focusing on sobriety, work, and accountability. And they have tremendous success. And the folks who participate successfully in that program, in many, many cases, they go on to very successful lives in employment. They come back and they talk about, I know every year on one of the radio stations I listen to, they have a fundraiser. They bring back all of the folks who participated successfully in that program, and that's what they talk about. They say, well, I wasn't going to turn my life around until I had a program that's, you know, really encouraged and required that accountability, personal accountability. I think obviously there's another category of the homeless, which I think are the ones we do really have to probably focus on the housing first, and that's women who have children. Oftentimes, you know, young women have been, you know, abandoned or mistreated, and they may have children. And you can only feel the need that is an area where government has to help people. I mean, you can only imagine a woman trying to provide for children in that situation, not having the income or the means to do it. And one of the programs, I think, you know, I am very supportive of Catholic Charities. I know in our area, in El Paso and Douglas County, we're in the Archdiocese there in the southern part of the state, and I think Catholic Charities has an amazing program, particularly focusing on those families and those children that need help, and they have
Senator Carson, can we please speak to the substance of this bill before us, sir?
Well, again, Madam Chair, I'll try and focus a little bit more, but we are talking about homelessness here
The substance of this bill
and
before
how to
us,
end it.
sir.
More plans.
Back to the bill, Senator Carson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. All right, so we had a good discussion there, and I'm fine with trying to focus a little more on the bill. I'm just simply making the point that, you know, these plans, these programs that we want to put in place, I think a lot of times they just end up being studies, and studies are interesting, but I think we got to really focus on how we're going to end homelessness and what programs work and which ones don't. But I won't belabor that point further. I think for purposes of this bill, which really does seem to focus a lot on a statewide strategy for homelessness prevention and resolution, I think what a lot of us are concerned about is that it really, if we're going to be effective, we're going to have the localities more involved, and we're going to have to work to make sure that nonprofits and solutions programs that actually work are what we're working with. So I'm going to offer an amendment here at the desk, Amendment 7.
There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read amendment number 7?
Amendment L7.
Senator Carson.
I move Amendment L7. So what this amendment does is very simple. It just keeps most of the bill, but it removes the portion of the bill that focuses on this statewide study and planning. And a lot of that's going to be administered by the Department of Local Affairs and different, you know, programs in the state government. And as the good senator from Castle Rock said, once again, it's always interesting when you get a fiscal note on something like this, where we're going to have a grand study of how to reduce and prevent homelessness. That is the title of the bill, House Bill 26-1202, Strategy to Reduce and Prevent Homelessness. And yet what we see here is no impact at all on the expenditures of the state. And that, of course, is interesting, but it does lead you to wonder how much energy is really going to put into another statewide study. And so I offer that amendment and in the hopes that we can get the bill more focused on the localities and more focused ultimately on figuring out what programs with housing and homelessness and work and sobriety, which one of those actually work. Because I think the plans that work, the programs that work, as I mentioned earlier, and I'll just briefly say it again, I think the programs that work are the ones that require the sobriety and the employment you know, basically say, we're going to work with you peer-to-peer to turn your life around. I don't think it does much good to just keep doing the same thing we've been doing year after year. And I'll just mention in closing on my comments on this amendment, if you look at the Denver point in time count and the programs they put into effect in Denver, in 2017, there were 3,100 homeless individuals counted. In 2024, there were 6,500, twice as many. So I think that's a pretty clear indication that whatever's being done out there with all these governmental plans are not working particularly well. So I would urge an aye vote for Amendment 007. Thank you.
Further discussion, Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I will agree with my good colleague that I don't think we are doing a good job of solving this problem. And that actually is part of the point of the bill, is to say, let us look at this as from the statewide perspective.
and see what things are working and what things aren't working. I assume this study will include some investigation into what different local governments have done, what's been effective, what hasn't been effective. And yes, I think Housing First is worth taking a look at. Is that the right strategy for in every case? Are there other strategies? I think that is the whole point of the bill, actually, is to help us level set and figure out how do we move forward, because what we've been doing really hasn't been working. And if you live in a place that has a lot of people who are unhoused, like I do, the local solution is also not working. And my local community is asking for help from both the state and the federal government, and they're not getting the kind of support that they need to solve the problem. And also they would like for our regional partners to engage so that it isn't just our town that has to do all of the work, but that the surrounding towns, which are benefiting from the fact that we're offering programs, can also help contribute and help problem solve on what is the right way to do this. So I would ask for a no vote. The amendment takes out the statewide study. That's an integral piece of the bill. It's fully a third of the bill. And the reason that we were running the bill really does speak to a lot of what my good colleague just brought up, that we haven't maybe to change course and do things a little bit differently. And I don't think anybody really knows what are the right answers, and it's a complicated problem. So I would ask for a no vote on Amendment 7.
Further discussion on Amendment 7? Senator Frizzell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise in support of Amendment L7. We have resources already in place in DOLA, in the Department of Local Affairs, Division of Housing. They have a homelessness resolution program already in existence, and perhaps that's why the price tag of this amazing study is nothing. So my question is, why do we have to mandate this in statute? I'm not really clear on that. I think that we should, if we have resources already looking at this, why aren't they already creating this study? I try to question our priorities, or unfortunately, I feel like I have to question our priorities way too frequently. The thing that worries me a great deal about this bill is the amount of redundancy that I see could be created. And again, I'm kind of an efficient government person. I don't like redundancy in government programs because then you just end up serving nobody. And there are organizations already out there working on this problem, whether you consider it a successful venture or not, they are. And we already have people working on homelessness in state government, in the Division of Housing. So I get if we want to run a bill, if we want to create policy that is going to set up a new form of government, that's what we're doing in this policy. Fine. But to think that we are going to create a study that solves the problem, let's finally have that solution, because we know better than everybody else in the whole United States, or actually I think homelessness is a problem throughout the world. Why aren't we already doing it with existing resources? Why do we have to create legislation to do that? The state of Colorado, I don't even know, and probably my friend, the JBC member over here, has down to the nickel how much money the state of Colorado spends in grants for homelessness resources, or homeless resources, I forget. Sometimes I don't know if I should put the ness on homeless all the time. So inevitably I get it wrong. No, we already provide a lot of money towards this from a grant standpoint and housing resources. I don't understand how we are going to have the solution through another study that's being done for free, just in case I forgot to mention that. So I support L7 and ask that you do as well.
Further discussion on Amendment L7? Senator Carson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just around the issue of how much planning we want to do, I'll just, in closing, mention one thing about the plan. The plan in Denver, which is now called All-In Mile High, per person cost to the city per year, $69,413 per person. $69,413 per person, and the number of homeless continues to rise. So I just asked the question, are these plans really getting to the root causes and the potential solutions to homelessness?
Further discussion, Senator Rich?
Thank you, Madam Chair. That was an interesting figure that the good senator from Highlands Ranch just said, because that's actually more money than we make. But to support L007, I think it's a good idea because this amendment prevents the expansion of centralized top-down policymaking. And if we strike this section, the amendment ensures that homelessness policy remains grounded in local control rather than driven by a one-size-fits-all statewide framework. I don't know where we're headed if the whole purpose of this is to create a homelessness authority, much like we have housing authorities, but this is a really good amendment, and I certainly hope that you can support L007. I do.
Further discussion on L7? Seeing none, the motion... Oh. A division has been requested. A division has been requested. All those in the chamber not entitled to vote, please be seated. The motion is the adoption of L07. All those in favor, please stand and remain standing without moving around the chamber. Please be seated. All those opposed, please stand and remain standing without moving around until the count is complete. The chair is not in doubt. The motion for the adoption of L7 is lost. Further discussion on the bill, Senator Baisley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I received, let me find it real fast, I received a text from one of the county clerks and recorders within my district. It's County Clerk Justin Grantham from Fremont County. I want to quote him here. He has concerns that the use of the documentation fee, the doc fee, for other government purposes, says it will upset the flow of work in the recording division and has the possibility of reducing staff and forcing that part of the office to be out of compliance with statutory mandates. He says, granted, the word used is may rather than must or shall, but the county reallocates those funds. If it reallocates those funds, this could be devastating. So, towards that, I would appreciate the consideration of this amendment.
There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read amendment number 9?
Amendment L9, amend Ringross Bill, page 12, strike lines 16 through 22, renumber succeeding subsections accordingly, page 12, line 24.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the amendment, oh, I'm sorry, thank you very much. I move L009 to House Bill 1202.
Further discussion? Senator
Yes, thank
Baisley?
you, Madam Chair. The amendment would remove the authority's ability to issue revenue or general obligation bonds. It limits the long-term financial liabilities created by the bill, which would alleviate the concerns that there would be some problems created downstream years later. It grants multi-jurisdictional authorities the power to issue bonds and pledge future revenue streams. That's what the bill does. While these tools can fund projects up front, they can also create long-term obligations that might outlast the original policy goals. So by removing bonding authority, what this amendment does, it ensures that these entities cannot take on significant debt that could ultimately impact taxpayers or future budgets. So I would appreciate a yes vote on this amendment 009. Thank you.
Further discussion on L9? Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The advocates for the bill really spend a lot of time talking about this fee and what it does and doesn't do, and it is completely optional. And so I would encourage a no vote on this amendment. And thanks.
Further discussion on L9? Senator Baisley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So let me be specific on what the bill does. On page 12 of the bill, I'm sorry, what the amendment does. Page 12 of the bill, it would remove the following words. An authority may issue revenue or general obligation bonds and may pledge its revenue and revenue-raising powers for the payment of such bonds. Such bonds must be issued on the terms and subject to the conditions set forth in section 43-4-609. The bonds, notes, and other obligations of an authority are not debts, liabilities, or obligations of the contracting local governments. So it would remove this, just that one section, that authority, that would prevent these obligations that would come up for years and years to come, even long after the intent of that debt was intended and obligated in the first place. So I just think this will relieve great concerns by our county clerks and recorders and would clean this up significantly. So I urge an aye vote.
Further discussion, Senator Amabile.
Yeah, this is about these local governments creating MOUs amongst themselves, and they will only be able to do any of these things if everyone agrees to it. And it is a local control issue. If they want to do it, if they want to make these agreements, they can. There's nothing in the bill that says they have to, and I ask for a no vote.
Further discussion on Amendment L9? Seeing none, the motion is for the adoption of Amendment L9. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no? No. The noes have it, and the amendment is lost. Further discussion, Senator Rich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And we've had quite a bit of discussion about various pages in this amendment, or in this bill. I have an amendment.
There is an amendment on the desk. Will the clerk please read amendment number 8?
Amendment L008, amending Rose
Senator
Bill.
Rich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move L008 to House Bill 1202.
Further discussion, Senator Rich.
Thank you. I was looking at, now I was looking into Section 2 of this bill, and this amendment would remove references to the ability of local governments to levy sales and use taxes for the benefit of multi-jurisdictional authorities. It prevents the expansion of new regional tax mechanisms. The bill allows local governments to coordinate and levy additional sales tax to fund multi-jurisdictional homelessness authorities. And while subject to voter approval, this creates a pathway for layered regional taxation that may increase the overall tax burden on residents. Think about that if it's multi-jurisdictional. By removing this authority, the amendment ensures that new regional entities do not become vehicles for expanding taxation beyond existing local structures. It's a local government issue, and I ask for an aye vote on L008.
Further discussion on L8, Senator Marchman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise in opposition to L008, and I want to explain why. So what this bill does is allow local governments to be able to work together regionally to solve homelessness issues. What this amendment would do would disallow this new authority to be able to actually take action. And I want to be really clear. When they do take action, it's every single local authority has to vote on it. And then they have to have an MOU in place for what happens if, I'm going to take Larimer County, if Larimer County, Loveland, and Fort Collins join together. That means all voters would have to vote on that. And so this is actually taking away the tool that the local governments have asked for in this bill. So I would respectfully urge a no vote on L008.
Further discussion, Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise in support of L008 and had a brief conversation with the sponsors about some of the complexities of this levying tax conversation in the bill. Paragraph 5 of the bill talks about having this intergovernmental agreement between multiple counties, and if they so pursue a sales tax, levy a sales tax, there's some things that have to happen. This intergovernmental agreement must include provisions that apply to a case the unique case in which the electors in some, but not all of the contracting local governments approve the ballot question described in subsection 5A of this section, and 5A was the levy of the taxes. Any sales tax levied in accordance with this subsection 5 is in addition to any other sales tax or layering on taxes imposed pursuant to law. And here's the unique part: the intergovernmental agreement must provide that all or part of the taxes levied in accordance with this subsection 5 are distributed to the authority. So, like, the intergovernmental agreement has to outline how you solve this problem, but the problem is you have one entity that says, yep, we're going to do a sales tax, and another one says, nope, we're not going to do a sales tax, but the sales tax raised in the one entity that said yes has to go to the authority. And then it seems like it sets up some problems of how are you going to deal in that? How are you going to deal in that circumstance? I think the amendment offers a way out of this challenge or this problem, and would ask for I vote on Amendment 08.
Further discussion on L8? Seeing none, the motion is for the adoption of Amendment L8. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no? No. The noes have it, and the amendment is lost. Further discussion on the bill. Senator Frizzell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do not have any amendments. I know you'll be thrilled. I just wanted to make a few final remarks. I don't know if anyone else in my caucus would like to speak further, but this is an important bill to local government entities and to citizens of Colorado. Important in that I think that it has I have a lot of concerns about it. A lot of concerns. I worry, because we've already established that I'm a worrier, but I worry about accountability for these authorities. I worry that this policy does not create any particular guardrails with respect to funding. And we've talked about over and over from several different folks who have been up here, talked about the amount of investment that's currently occurring. We didn't talk about the number of non-governmental organizations that are already out there working, sometimes redundantly, sometimes not, sometimes coordinating with one another, sometimes not. It's an extraordinarily long list. We have systems set up. So my question is kind of, if we create some other system, what does that look like to those organizations that are already providing services, already receiving funding, already receiving grants from the state of Colorado or from the city and county of Denver or from whatever local government organization we're talking about? What happens? Are we just creating yet another silo? I don't agree with creating layers of government. Fundamentally, that goes against my values. I don't believe in big government. I don't believe government is the solution. I don't believe government is the solution. I don't believe that given Colorado's current fiscal situation, that this is wise for Colorado to be entering into yet another, even though it's not Colorado who is creating the homelessness authority, homelessness response authority. Colorado, the state of Colorado is not necessarily part of that multi-jurisdictional entity that's being created, but we always have a seat at the table when we create state law that mandates these things. So I think it's really important that we look at this bill and try to understand the unintended consequences that are created. Because I don't believe government's the solution. I ask for a no vote.
Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would highlight in the ledge deck of the bill, there's a reflection and quote about Colorado lacks strategies for solving homelessness. And appreciate the sponsor's recognition that access to housing is one of the leading factors. I would say workforce is the other piece of the puzzle to solve homelessness. But if you do a cursory review of the bills, the bodies passed in the last 5 years around access to housing, it's endless. It's not endless. There are, I don't know, 50 or 60 of them. I think there are probably 8 or 10 this session, and I'm on one of them about Prop 123 and making those funds more, as is the sponsor of this bill. She sponsored that with me, and I just can't help but think, and we've had conversations offline about, you know, in my tenure here, well, I'll highlight Colorado, the Colorado Housing and Finance Authority has been in place for a long time and does really good work in this space. They've demonstrated their value in working towards solving some of the housing problems. But just in my tenure here, in 2021, the General Assembly set aside, appropriated $500 million for affordable housing. The good senator from Boulder and I also sat on a committee where we appropriated $500 million to transform the behavioral health system as well. But the housing one, they set aside $500 million. There was an interim committee in 2021 and then came back in 2022 and offered bills to appropriate the $500 million towards affordable housing. Prop 123 passed. Ironically, we just passed a bill to move $130 million out of Prop 123 to help balance the state's budget. I would challenge the priorities in that space. I was here and helped, I think I voted for and sponsored the Middle Income Housing Authority that is working in this same space across the state. Then last year, the Investment Authority of the State Treasurer for Affordable Housing. Yet another authority. I just question, like, who's driving this conversation? It does feel like a reference to we've sprinkled opportunities to solve this problem across a variety of spaces over just the 6 years that I've been here. And if you look back the last 10 years, it's more than a sprinkling, I think. It's a dumping of resources in trying to solve the problem. And we just haven't demonstrated as a state that we're very thoughtful in trying to really make progress and solve this problem. And I just think House Bill 1202, it just layers on another sprinkled area that I'm very suspicious that it will produce the results that I know the sponsors intend for it to produce, and would ask the body to be a no vote on House Bill 1202.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of House Bill 1202. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title? Oh, excuse me. Senatorial 5. Oh, sorry. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the Senate proceed out of order to bring up Senate Bill 002.
Will the clerk please read the title? Oh, excuse me. The motion is to proceed out of order to take up Senate Bill 002. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the body will proceed out of order. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 002?
Senate Bill 002 by Senators Kipp and Exum and Representative Wilford, concerning energy affordability and in connection therewith establishing a first allotment of residential electricity service program that provides income-qualified utility customers a minimum level of electricity service at a marginal cost rate.
To the, Senator Exum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 2 and the Appropriations Committee report. Transportation Committee report.
To the Transportation and Energy Committee report, Senator.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Transportation and Energy Committee report. We did a strike below, and rather than explain that, we'll talk about that a little bit when we get to the bill. But we asked for an aye vote on the committee report.
Further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the Transportation and Energy Committee report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. There is an amendment at the desk. Will the clerk please read amendment number 11?
Amendment L11, amend transportation.
Senator Kipp.
Thank you. I move L011 to SB 002.
Thank you. Further discussion? Senator Kipp.
Yeah, what L011 does is it brings all of the rest of the utility companies into align with what we are doing in this bill. This is something the PUC asked for, and I request a yes vote.
Further discussion on L11? Seeing none, the motion is for the adoption of Amendment 11. Are all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. To the bill, Senator Exum.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, members. The ultimate goal of this bill has never changed to help make electrical and gas utilities more affordable to lower income folks. However, this bill proposed achieving that goal has changed dramatically over the last few weeks. The introduced version of the bill created a FAIR program, which stands for First Allotment of Residential Electricity, which Xcel and Black Energy submit their plans to the PUC to create allotments offering. However, the stakeholders' feedback to the FAIR program proposal convinced us that this was not the best way to achieve our goal. So the better solution emerged, and what we decided to do is codify the PIP program, which stands for Percentage of Income Payment Plan, in an energy affordable program run through the Energy Outreach Colorado, which limits your household electric or gas bill to 6% of your yearly income. To qualify for the PIP, your household income must be below 80% of the area median income, AMI. You must not be past due on your energy bill, and you are not eligible for other referral programs. As amended, Senate Bill 2 codifies the existing program, and we codified a PIP program by making a few changes. For example, we're allowing people that are on the PIP program to be eligible for other programs like LEAP, which they're not allowed to do under the current PIP rules. And we're also preventing the utility companies from raising rates on other customers to cover the cost of the PIP program. And I want to thank the good senator from Fort Collins allowing me to join her on this bill, and I will pass it over to her.
Senator Kipp.
Thank you, and I would like to thank the good senator from Colorado Springs for joining me on this bill. So since 2012, investor-owned utilities in Colorado have offered percentage of income payment plans, also known as the PIP program. PIP plan caps energy costs for income-qualified households at a set percentage of their income. These programs are effective, but the problem is that they don't work consistently or transparently enough to reach everyone who needs them. Utilities use different names for their programs, application pathways are complicated, and utilities are not required to clearly publish eligibility requirements, how to apply, or what benefits a customer can expect. The result is that eligible households either don't know help exists, or they struggle to navigate the process to get it. SB 26002 fixes that. It codifies a consistent affordability framework across investor-owned utilities, requires clear program information on utility websites, standardizes the PIP name across providers, requires utilities to notify applicants within 30 days whether they've been approved or denied, and expands application pathways so customers can apply directly with their utility rather than being required to first enroll in another assistance program. This bill doesn't reinvent what utilities are already doing. It makes those programs work better together for the Coloradans who need them most. So we ask for your support.
Further discussion, Senator Baisley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I was on the committee that heard this bill, and this just strikes me as the involvement by government into private industry in ways that we ought not to do. And I realize that this is a utility, so PUC is between government and the businesses. But regardless, when we keep going down these paths of government involvement in consumer services, products, and so on, we distort the industry. And what there is of a free market in a utility just gets distorted in really not good ways, and these keep compounding on themselves, and it's just not a good path to go down for all of us. I'd encourage a no vote on this bill, but let me just leave it there. Let's vote no on this bill. Thank you.
Further discussion on Senate Bill 2? Seeing none, the motion is for the adoption of Senate Bill 2. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar until Friday, April 17th.
The motion is to lay over the balance of the calendar until Friday, April 17th. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Oh, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes shockingly have it, and the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
April 16, 2026, Mr. President, in committee of the whole begs leave to report has had in consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, makes following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 2, as amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1084, as amended, House Bill 1202, passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 150, Senate Bill 101, Senate Bill 159, Senate Bill 158, laid over until April 17, 2026, and retaining their place in the calendar.
Okay. Mr. Schaffler, please excuse Senator Gonzalez. And now, Senator Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
The motion is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? What? Senators. Mr. Minority Leader. Frizzell. Zamora Wilson. Rich. Baisley. Pelton B. Catlin. Pelton R. Carson. I don't see any other hands raised. Liston. Bright. Is it possible that Kirkmeyer would like to be added as a no vote? Keep going? Sure? Okay. With a vote of 23 ayes, 11 noes, 0 absent, and 1 excused, Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 2 is amended. Passed second reading order of Gross Place County for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1084 is amended. 1202 passed second reading order of Vice Place County for third reading and final passage. And Senate Bill 150, 101, 159, 158 laid over to 4/17/2026, pertaining to place on the calendar. Signing of bills.
The President has signed House Bill 1002, 1023, 1024, 1039, 1089, 1090, 1133, 1134, 1200, 1277. House Joint Resolution 1024, House Joint Resolution 1025, House Joint Resolution 1026, House Joint Resolution 1027.
I don't remember signing any of those. Announcements. Senator Pelton R.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. After consulting with the minority and the majority leader, I get to go walk around a little bit of cow dung Monday and go to a bull sale, and I've been excused, so thank you.
Senator Pelton R. will be excused and fined $1 for returning to the President as Mr. Chair. Any other announcements? I'm just jealous that you have Monday to do other work. Senator Amabile.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to tell everyone that we're having appropriations tomorrow at 8 a.m. in LSBB. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Everybody's looking at me like, what? We will be hearing Senate Bill 6, Senate Bill 15, Senate Bill 78, Senate Bill 124, Senate Bill 135, and Senate Bill 151, and other bills as they may come along. As a sign. Thank you.
As a sign. Further announcements. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, colleagues. We did a lot of work today in a very efficient time. We will be recessing to read some bills across the desk. You no need to return on that, Mr. President. I move the Senate recess until 1:30 p.m. today.
I don't want to read bills across the desk. I don't want to read more bills across the desk. I don't want to read more bills across the desk. The motion is in the Senate recess until 1:30 p.m. today because I was told that I must. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will recess until 1:30 p.m. today.